Hey, what's going on, guys? Got another video on this 2014 Ford Edge 3.7 liter. Going to be replacing the power steering stretchy belt and then also the serpentine belt and belt tensioner. So go ahead and pop your hood. So once you get your hood open, if you take a look here on the passenger side, belt tensioner is right down there, but then our belts are kind of buried down in there. So what we're going to have to do is probably jack it up, take off this wheel here, and then probably this inner fender well. So let's go ahead and do that next. So I'm going to go ahead and jack up right underneath the front here. Got this little lip, and then I'll probably just put 2 jack stands on the pinch welds. So you can see I got the other side set up, but you're just going to put a jack stand right underneath the pinch weld here. Now we can go ahead and lower it. And then go ahead and pull your wheel and tire off on your passenger side. Most likely that's going to be a 19mm. As you can see, these are different style wheels here though. So like I said earlier, we're going to have to remove this inner fender well. And you got a bunch of these clips that we need to remove. And then we got a couple bolts on the outside. So let's go ahead and remove all these clips. So you just take a trim tool or something like this. Get up underneath the first part there. Go ahead and slide that out a little bit. Then get back behind the rest of it. And that's what that looks like. Next, grab a 7/32. Let's go around and get all these bolts off of here. And then you got a few more underneath the front here. And it actually looks like I didn't have to do this one here. So go ahead and put that one back. And then it looks like there's one more just hidden right here, this style clip. So go ahead and remove that one. So then you go ahead and just try and pull this out of here. Next, we're going to need to remove the serpentine belt, but before we do that, we're going to need to relieve the tension on the belt tensioner. And in order to do this job, you're going to have to either rent this or get one of these tools. There's pretty much no way around it. You can't get a 3/8 socket wrench or a breaker bar in there. There's just not enough room. So you can get this kit. I got it from AutoZone, and you can just rent it and take it back. It's kit number 57115. Open it up here. And you can see it's really skinny, and then it has a 3/8 inch on the end here. That'll give us enough clearance to get down in there, relieve the tension on the tensioner. So pretty much all you need is just this part. And then there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it from up top here or down below. I prefer to do it down below because you're already down there pulling the belt off. But if you do it up top here, not sure if you guys can see it, but the tensioner's right down there. So what you'll do is you take this tool and you're going to get down onto the tensioner. It'll kind of slip in right there. And then what you're going to do is pull towards you. And then that's relieving the tension. And you can have somebody down there undo the belt, or you can try and reach around. But like I said, I like to do it from down below, so I'll show you that real quick. So if you do it from down below, you got another slot right there on the pulley. So you can take this, get it up under here, and then you can kind of just push it towards the back of the car. You can see that relieves the tension there. And then you can go ahead and just slip your belt off. So just kind of like that. And then you can relieve the tension. Get this tool out of here. And then you can go ahead and slip your belt off. And then you may want to just take a picture of how this is routed. It's really not that hard though. And then just pull your old belt out. So now we'll go ahead and remove the power steering belt here. And to get that belt off, since there is no tensioner, that's why they call it a stretchy belt. You can either just the easy way and cut it off, but if you want to save the belt for a spare or you need to reuse it, you can get this tool here. Got this from Oreilly's. You can rent it. 67089. You see it's just a stretch fit belt tool kit. And if you open it up here, you got this tool to install it, and then also one to remove it. So let's go ahead and see if this will work. So what you want to do is grab your one that says remove, and you see you got these little grooves and then this kind of rounded area. So you're going to stick this up on the power steering pulley, get these grooves into place. So it's kind of sitting like that, and then you're going to kind of just push on it to where it kind of locks it in there so it doesn't fall out. And then you're going to grab an 18mm, and we're going to rotate this crank bolt clockwise. And then that'll should spin around, and hopefully the belt will come off of there. So like I said, just keep rotating it. Just like that. So you can pull this off of here, and there's our old belt. So now we can go ahead and remove our tensioner. So you're going to have 3 8mm bolts. This first one you can get from down here. The other two will probably be easier from up top. So just get you a small socket wrench in here. Go ahead and pull that off. Once you get it broken free, it should come off pretty easy. So there's that one. Now let's go up top. And then up top here, it's kind of hard to see. I'm hoping to get you guys a good angle. We got one right there, and then the other one's going to be right there. So again, it's going to be really tight, but you should still be able to get down in here, break them free. Again, once you get them broken free, they should come out easy by hand. Try to do this other one here. And these aren't on there too tight, so they break free pretty easy. And then just go ahead and push those out by hand here. And let me grab one of my stubby wrenches here, see if that'll make it easier. So I'm just gonna try this little stubby wrench. It's a ratcheting one. See if that helps at all. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's try to get this last one off of here. And I probably should have just did the bottom one last. Okay, so just like that, you can see the bolt's still stuck in it. But just take your time getting that out. Pretty tight space there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our old and new parts here. So here's the old tensioner, and this vehicle has right around 122,000 on it, I believe. And I usually prefer, if you're going to replace the belt, you might as well replace the tensioner while you're in there, because this is a wear part as well. And for that, just went with the genuine Motorcraft. There's the part number on that. I'll put a link in the description for it. You see, that's what that looks like. And then this is the old power steering belt. I'm assuming this is the original too. You can see it says Ford Motor Company on it. Doesn't look too bad. It's kind of hard to see, but there is some little cracking going on parts of it there. So might as well just replace that. And for that one, I went with the same thing, genuine Motorcraft. There's a part number for that. So I'll put a link in the description for it. And then the Serpentine belt. If you take a look here, assuming this is probably the original too, because it says Ford on it. But if you take a look here, you can see there's a split right there. If you flip it over, you can see it went straight through the belt. So that is why I'm replacing this one. And then same thing, Motorcraft on that one. There's the part number for it. So let's go ahead and put this new tensioner on. So I'm going to go from down here first, and we'll try to get that one closest to us started here. So go ahead and get this situated. Stick that up in there, and then go ahead and try to get this one started here. So just get a few threads started there, and let's go back up top and try to get these other ones started. Once you get a few started on that, see if I can take my wrench here and tighten that. And then try to get this third one started here. Once you get those started, go ahead and tighten those up. So once you get those close to being tight, you should have enough room now to get your socket wrench in here. Go ahead and just snug them up the rest of the way. Of course, you can't get a torque wrench in here, so just get them nice and snug. Okay, let's see if that's enough to get our socket wrench on her now. And you can see I need to go just a little more. Okay, now let's try it. Finally. Okay, so then you can, like I said, go ahead and tighten this up the rest of the way. Much easier with the socket wrench. So just like that, get snug, and now our tensioner's on. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get our power steering belt on. And I'm not going to use this tool because they want it on the crankshaft pulley right here. And I feel like that's just going to put too much strain on the belt as you're trying to stretch it around this crankshaft pulley. So I'm going to try the zip tie method. So what you want to do is get your belt around the crankshaft pulley here. And then kind of start it up here just a little bit. So get that all the way on the crankshaft. And then what you want to do is take a large zip tie here And you're going to go inside the power steering pulley here. So if you can get on the inside of it. Get your zip tie through. It's kind of hard to do here. So you have to just bend that zip tie a little bit just so you can grab onto it. So get it kind of like that, and then what you want to do is get your belt kind of started almost. But take this zip tie, go around the belt, and then around your pulley. So it's going to look something kind of like that. Go ahead and get that super tight, where it's kind of something like that. And then as this rotates around, it's going to pull that belt on there. So again, just make sure you're in the grooves here. And then go ahead and grab your 18mm bolt or socket. Let's go ahead and rotate this crank clockwise. And you have to help the belt a little bit. And that should start going on top there. Keep going. And just like that. You can kind of see the belt there. I'm not going to go any tighter. If you take a look here, get my light situated. You can see now we're around the pulley there and our zip tie still on. So let me go ahead and cut that. So go ahead and cut that zip tie. Make sure you don't cut your belt. Get your zip tie out of here. And then just rotate it a few more times just to make sure you're on there. So just like that. That's how you get your stretch belt on there. So then you go ahead and grab your drive belt or your serpentine belt. What you're going to want to do is try to get that up around your alternator up there first. And then you're going to go down around your AC compressor here. And then go up around your crank. So it's kind of like that. Make sure you're around your compressor, and then like I said, your alternator. Make sure you're all the way around that. So what you want to do is just kind of pull this down, get that belt kind of tight, because we're going to slip it over the belt tensioner pulley. Get your serpentine belt tool, get that up in there, and actually it's almost like this tensioner's just offset a little more, probably because it's new and I can't get my tool on there correctly because I'm hitting the frame. So what I'm gonna have to do is go up top there, see if I can pull on it on the top one, and then hopefully slip this on. Okay guys, so I'm able to kind of reach around here. You can see I pulled it from up top there. And I'm holding it with my right hand, so I'm trying with my left here to slip this on. That new belt's just so tight. And let's see if I can get any more out of this. Alright guys, so I had to get the help of my wife to pull on that. So go ahead and pull on it while I reach up here and try to get this on here, but it's still super tight. To get on here, you can see, and she's maxed out up there because the Serpentine belt tool is hitting on the radiator. So what I'm going to try and do is just take a pry bar here and maybe help pry that tensioner more that way, just so I can get this slipped on. Because for some reason this belt's really tight. So I'm going to go ahead and just try and pry up and see if I can get a little more out of it. There we go. So then just slip that over. Let me release this one. Okay, go ahead and let go. Okay, so just like that. Hopefully you guys don't have that problem, but if you do, just have somebody help you up there above, and then you may just have to press this that way just a little more, just to get that little bit of room to get that slid on there. Okay guys, so before we go ahead and put our inner fender well on here, let's go ahead and just start it and just make sure everything's good and turning the way it should be. So as you can see, everything looks good. Belts are turning. I don't see any issues. So now we go and get our inner fender well put back in. Next, go ahead and get your wheel and tire back on. And then of course go ahead and jack it up and get our jack stands out of here and lower it. And then go ahead and grab your torque wrench, and you're going to torque your lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for the video. Again, this was a 2014 Ford Edge Sport with a 3.7 liter. Went ahead and replaced the Serpentine belt along with the belt tensioner, and then also the power steering stretchy belt. And as you saw, it's pretty tight getting into some of them areas, especially to get that tensioner off, but it is doable. And then you guys will need that Serpentine belt tool. As for the stretchy belt install and removal tool, as you saw, I was able to use just the zip tie method. I think that works the best. And but that tool did work for removal. So if you want to save that belt, or if not, just go ahead and just cut it off with a pair of snips. So hopefully this video helps you out. If it does, why don't you subscribe to my channel, check out all my other videos. I got a bunch on this car, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.